I had a really interesting conversation with a client around her identity being tied to being his wife, to being a mother. She's devoted over 2 decades of her life to being his wife. And now that he's cheated and she's realizing that he's been emotionally abusive their entire marriage, they're getting divorced. But who is she? In a way that a lot of people don't even realize, women are groomed to center men. And men really buy into that. When I make videos and I speak out against abusive men, there's always a handful in the comments. Let me guess, you're single. But what they're saying to me is that I only have value if I'm in a relationship with a man. My worth is inherently tied to if a man thinks that I'm worthy of being in a relationship with him. Am I worthy now? Can we go on and have the conversation now? I decide if I'm worthy. You decide if you're worthy. When you center men, you are more likely to neglect working on your own self-worth. We're prioritizing their needs, their wants, and not our own. Ultimately, this makes women more susceptible to that kind of partner who's willing to take advantage. Centering men also leads us to ignore the red flags. Now, some red flags are obvious and some aren't. But often centering men makes us blind to a lot of those red flags that could be obvious at the beginning of a relationship. We're so concerned, right? Do they like us? Are we dressed appropriately? Are we funny enough? Are we doing the right thing? You go on these dates and you wonder, do they like you? Are you wondering, though, if you like them? Centering men also leads to perpetuating gender stereotypes. Women are supposed to be subservient and accommodating. What type of man do you think seeks out specifically that kind of woman? If men are the center of your world, you might fear independence. But ultimately, if you're centering men, you lose sight of your own identity. You're not just someone's wife. You're not just someone's mother. The lack of fulfillment, the lack of self-realization, that can make us stay in these awful relationships. We're seeking emotional security. We can love men. We can want to be in relationships with men and not center men. Does that make sense? What's your experience? Drop a comment.